Hi everybody, Mr. Politics here, and welcome to another video. So we finally got rid of that migrant offender from Epping this morning. He was put on a plane and sent back to Ethiopia. But, as usual, there's a but. We bribed him to leave. We paid him £500, which is £500 of taxpayers' money to leave. It was a bribe. We bribed him to leave because he was threatening to disrupt the deportation flight. He didn't want to leave. So the immigration enforcement bribed him to leave, paid him £500, and he was sent on his way. Of course, if he had have disrupted the flight, he would have had to have been put in a detention centre awaiting deportation. But like they've said, it would have costed a lot more money to try and get him out to leave the country. And of course, he would have had access to a lawyer who would have fought his case for him, and they would have appealed his deportation order, and they probably would have gone to a judge, some sympathetic human rights judge, and that human rights judge would probably say he could stay. Yes, £500 of taxpayers' money was given to him for him to leave. Like I've said, bribed him to leave. He's now in Ethiopia. Let's hope it stays there. They've said that he can't ever come back again, but don't you believe it? No doubt that even now, as he's back in his country of origin, Ethiopia, he's already planning a way to get back into the UK. So don't be surprised if, say, sometime next year, that he doesn't turn up again. I mean, we've already had one example of one migrant being returned to France, haven't we? And he's come back. So don't be surprised if he doesn't try to make come. He'll sometime next year. He'll decide to make his way to northern France to Calais, and he'll try and find the money to pay these people smugglers to bring him over again. He'll be back. So don't be surprised. It would be an embarrassment for Dharma, wouldn't it? Don't think for 1 minute that these migrants will be deterred from coming to Britain because we've deported them. Don't think for 1 minute it won't. I've already said that it's not going to stop them. If they want to get back into here in the UK, they will. But like I've said, let's hope it stays there. We don't want this scum to ever set foot in the country again. Like I've said, don't be surprised if he's doesn't show up again gets into a dinghy sometime next year, and he makes his way comes back into the country again, and then we'll have to try and get rid of him all over again. I mean, what a laugh this country is. We've got to pay somebody to get them to leave. Get them to leave the country because they don't want to go. It's just laughable, isn't it? What this country has become since we've had Starmer as Prime Minister. Well, mind you, we really, when you look at it, we shouldn't really blame Starmer and Labour for all this, even though it's getting worse. got worse since Labour have, are in government. This started with the Tories. It started with them. Blame them. No wonder they never will never form another government again, the Tories. Mind you, come to think of it, we don't want Labour in government, do we? But now this has happened, every migrant who is going to be try and be deported, they'll be paid the same amount or maybe a lot more. They'll get even more money. It's all taxpayers' money. It all comes from the taxpayer. It can't come from anywhere else. But of course, well, like I've said before, Dharma, being the idiot he is, this is his fault. We're having a hell of a job to get rid of them. I mean, there was an incident, yesterday? Uh, an innocent person lost their life because of a Afghan asylum seeker who'd already been given asylum. He was given asylum in 2022. And of course, who was in government then? The Tories. He came over in the back of a lorry and he was given asylum. And another migrant has just been sent to jail for the same thing, taking the life of an innocent person, this time in a bank in Derbyshire, somewhere in Derbyshire. He's a Somalian. He's now in jail. I mean, why is it that Britain attracts these animals? Because that's all they are, animals. They don't contribute anything to this country. And I suppose once that Somalian and that Afghan have served their prison sentence, we'll have to try and deport them. That Afghan who was given asylum should have his citizenship revoked, and he should be made to return to Afghanistan. But I don't suppose he will. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.